Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Kitty. On my channel, I like to do scary stories. I also do live streams, storytelling, makeup related videos, shopping hauls, and sometimes I do vlogs. So there's something here for everybody. Make sure to subscribe to my channel right now. You could either click on the corner right here where it says subscribe, or you can physically go down below and click the subscribe button. It costs absolutely nothing to support my channel. As you can tell by the title, today is a scary story video. The way it works is my subscribers, aka my lovely friends here on YouTube, will type out their scary stories, email them to me, and then I read them here for the first time along with you. Let's get into the first story. This happened years ago after my grandfather had passed on. I used to briefly stay at his house that was not occupied by anyone. I used to like to stay there for a few hours just to feel a sense of comfort when I missed him. No one liked to stay or go into the house after he passed. I didn't mind. I guess you could say I was hoping to experience anything paranormal related associated with him just to try to see him again. This particular day, I went over to his old house. I had gone in the late evening. I used to like to spend time there, whether it was going through old items, listening to music, or watching TV. I remember on this evening I was watching TV while looking through my grandfather's old magazines. I ended up falling asleep on the couch. I wasn't planning to sleep there, I just had dozed off. I don't remember dreaming about anything. I heard my grandfather's voice say to me as I was sleeping, "Wake up, there's someone outside. Get up and go home. I always told you to get home before it gets dark. Get up." As he was telling me to wake up, I remember finally waking up when I felt a hand touch my shoulder and shaking me. As I could hear him say, "Get up, quick." I had realized this is it. I might see my grandfather. I quickly looked as I felt his hand on my shoulder, but when I looked, there was nothing. Still, I could sense that he was there. Disappointed that I didn't actually get to see him, I got up and turned off the TV. I didn't think much of what he said. I was more thinking I could have possibly just had been dreaming of him, or was it really him? He was likely telling me to go home, especially because growing up he would always get after me and tell me not to walk around late at night. I grabbed my jacket and locked the doors. I had looked around outside the house, wondering if my dog was still waiting on me outside. I called out to him but didn't see him. He usually would wait for me and walk home with me. I started walking back home, which was a little over a mile away. As I was walking down a hill, I heard a dog come out of the nearby bushes. I stopped and shined a flashlight to see if it was my dog or another relative's dog that lived not too far from me. It didn't bark at me, so I figured it had to know me. As I turned to shine the flashlight, the light suddenly went out as I was ready to shine the light on the dog, who was a bit further behind me. I tried to turn the light back on, but nothing. I stood there calling out my dog's name. "Shadow, come here, Shadow." The dog stopped and wagged its tail, still at a distance from me. My eyes were adjusting to the dark, and I could see that it looked like my dog's shadow from what I could see from the moonlight. I didn't think much and turned around. The dog was still walking behind me, but staying at a distance, which was odd. My dog would normally catch up and walk beside me. I stopped again, and I looked over to my dog. I called out to him again, "Shadow, come here, Shadow." The dog stopped and wagged his tail again, but didn't approach me, so I continued to walk. I suddenly felt a chill come over me, and I thought to myself, "That's odd. Why do I suddenly feel a bit on edge?" I stopped to look around, remembering from what my grandfather had said when he was waking me up that someone was outside the house. I didn't see anybody in the nearby woods. I thought to myself, I'm sure it was nothing. If there was something, Shadow would have barked by now. So I stopped again and called for Shadow, but for some reason, Shadow stopped again. I just thought to myself, why is he keeping his distance from me? I called out to him again, but he didn't approach me. I then started walking towards Shadow, saying, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" For some reason, I just felt something within me tell me, "Don't bother, just get home," rather than petting my dog. I turned around and said, "Let's go, Shadow. We're not too far from the house." As I was approaching my house, the porch light was on, and from what I could see, I saw my dog Shadow sitting on the porch. He suddenly jumped up as I was approaching the house. He quickly ran toward me, barking. I stopped and said, "Shadow, I thought you were following me. If you've been home, then..." As he was running toward me, barking, I turned to look at the dog that was following me. I could hear him approaching me, and just as I said, if Shadow is home, then whose dog is following me? Just as I had turned, I saw the dog that was running toward me from behind. It got close to me and quickly stood up on two legs and ran off into the woods like a person. I was shocked by what I had just seen. I couldn't recognize the dog. I just saw a black dog stand up and run off like a person. As I stood there shocked by what I had seen, my dog Shadow rushed right by me and ran after that thing that was following me. I quickly rushed into the house. My dad asked me if I was okay as I walked into the house. I told him what I had seen and thought that Shadow was with me that whole time. He said, "Shadow's been home the whole time." I told him, "Well, someone followed me home. That makes sense now. Why the dog wouldn't come to me when I called Shadow's name." What's creepy is I almost walked up to whatever that was to pet him, thinking it was Shadow. That's creepy. Did you ever have any kind of like ceremony done or get any kind of confirmation like who it was? Because I know you guys are able to like somehow find out eventually. Thank you for sharing your story. Let's get into the next one. Hey Kitty, I love listening to your scary stories, and I thought I'd share one of my own ghost stories. Today I'm sending in this story as I am only 15 years old. I am on my mom's phone because I lost mine because of the story I'm about to tell. I grew up with my grandparents because my biological mom chose drugs over me and my siblings. But being the oldest, I always had an amazing childhood growing up until I got a bit older. I fell into the wrong crowd and started using the devil's lettuce as well as alcohol. Fast forward to December 2025, I was drinking with my sister and one of our friends from next door. I usually am the one who supplies the alcohol while they have the devil's lettuce. This particular night, we had drank all the alcohol and had wanted more. So we hopped into my friend's car and I drove. Please do not drink and drive. Do as I say, not as I do. I drove to town with my sister in the back and my friend was in the front. My sister and me had got to bumping, fighting as soon as we pulled up to the gas station because we had been arguing the whole way to town. Whatever, I lost a nail, but I got the alcohol, so we went back home. When I got home, my mom was waiting for us because of what my sister had told her. My friend started to say, "Your grandma's gonna whoop my ass." I told her to chill out and that she didn't do nothing but to just go home. My mom tried taking my bottle that was in my purse, but I got it all back. At this point, I knew she was calling the cops, so I went to my other friend's house down the road to find a place to sleep. I started walking down the road and up into the bluffs because I didn't want anybody to see me on the road, especially the cops. I laid down and took a gulp and hid the bottle in the bushes, got back up and started walking to my friend's house. As I'm walking, I started to hear someone or something walking behind me, so I turned around and it stops. I started to walk again, hearing the same thing. I turn again just to see nothing. This happened a couple of times until the last time I turned around to walk, it was right in front of me. I looked into its yellow eyes and quickly looked down because of what I was told, that if you look into their eyes long enough, it can paralyze you. I looked down fast, closed my eyes, and started praying. I could smell it, so I stepped around it and kept walking. I didn't turn back after that, but I could still hear it behind me. Then it started to talk to me, saying, "Your family doesn't love you. You can come with me and my family. We'll love you." I tried to get to the road as fast as I could. As soon as I did, a car came, and when it did, you could hear its wings go swoosh and flap away. The car didn't stop for me, thankfully, and I kept going for what felt like forever. I got to my friend's house and started knocking on her door and yelling her name. She finally answered. I was all wet and cold and scared. I was wet because it was raining, but that wasn't my main concern. My main concern was if I have a place to sleep tonight. I asked her, and she said she couldn't because it was a school night. I was like, all right, and left. At this point, it's probably 10 or 11 at night, so I just went home not knowing what to do. When I got home with no problems, I was amazed, confused, and shocked. When I got home, I went to the juvenile detention in Kayenta, where my mom couldn't find me for 2 weeks. I am now home trying to do better for myself and others, but these beings can't seem to leave me alone. Thank you for listening. I hope to hear the story on your channel. Have a blessed day. That's creepy. Imagine that. So, what she was talking about was an owl. So, this owl was like following her, messing with her, and talking to her. It's crazy because in the Mexican culture, I know owls are considered witches, like shapeshifters. And I've also heard scary stories in the Apache way about owls like bothering people, throwing rocks at them, talking to them in Apache. So I feel like it's universal, like they're people who shapeshift into owls or witches, basically. So it's crazy because back home on my res, we don't have skinwalkers, not that I know of. I have heard of owls, so I'm wondering if that's the Apache way, just like the Mexican way, just probably like how it is for the Navajos. You know how we all adopt something from other tribes? Or I know Navajos and Apaches adopted a lot from each other, but I do know Navajos and Apaches adopted a lot from the Mexican culture as well. So I'm wondering if this is something they picked up and learned from the Mexicans, or if the Mexicans learned from the indigenous people. It just makes you wonder. Either way, creepy as hell. Thank you for sharing your story. Let's do one more, and that'll be it for this week. This person sent in 2 stories, so they're 2 short stories, so I'll go ahead and read them. Hello, I would like to be anonymous. For context, you can call me Pat. Also, thank you for reading my story. I appreciate it. I love your channel so much. I have included 2 short stories. The first one I heard from my boyfriend, the other from my older brother. That's what I'm talking about. See, don't be afraid to share scary stories, even if it's not yours. As long as you know them well, send them in. We want all the stories. We're going to need more stories because I am running low. So if you want these videos to keep going, you guys must start sharing your stories right now. Otherwise, we're going to have a dry spell. And I don't want to hear, Kitty, where's the scary stories? Kitty, when are you going to post the next scary story? Because I'm telling you, we literally have maybe a couple left in my inbox. So you better get these stories into me. Otherwise, I'm probably going to have to read from the book over here. So I've never read from that book, but that's what we're going to have to do. So send in your stories. Okay? For you all, I have a spooky story my boyfriend told me. First off, we're Native American and we have different beliefs. In our pueblos, we believe owls are bad luck or can be mischievous beings. Same here, girl. Same for Apaches. One day, he said when he was younger and living with his mom, they had an aunt who was coming by in the evening to drop off some food. This was due to their oven going out. When his aunt stopped by, his mom went outside and they were chatting and thanking his aunt for the food. The weirdest thing happened when his aunt was responding. She had closed the car window, but could still be heard very quietly through the car saying, "Uh-huh," in response to his mom thanking her. As my boyfriend's aunt drove off, his mom heard something say, "Uh-huh," in the same voice as his aunt. His mom was freaked out. Looking around, she saw a big owl in the tree near their home. It was flying around and kept repeating, "Uh-huh," in his aunt's voice. From that point, my boyfriend said his mom called him and told him to keep a lookout because that owl was not an ordinary owl. Dang, that's creepy. See, like, what didn't we just hear a video or a story of an owl? I swear to you guys, I do not plan these stories that I tell. They just work out the way. Sometimes I won't go in order. Sometimes I'll skip to like a new one and then do an old one. And that's what I did today. I skipped to a very new one and then I went back to the older ones and then I went to the middle. But I never know what these stories about because they don't have titles or nothing. I just kind of read them for the very first time with you guys. So to have owl stories back to back is creepy as hell. That's crazy. Okay, her next short story. The story's not as long, but always gives me chills when I drive through Laguna Pueblo at night. So, in context, my older brother cousin has a wife from Pueblo Laguna in New Mexico. One day he told me he had let his wife, his then girlfriend at the time, visit her family in Laguna, and she also took my niece with her. So my brother would be alone for the day and most of the night until he picked them up later that evening. He said that it was about 8 at night when he decided to head out to pick them up. He left his house and it was pretty dark. The moonlight was out where he could see without needing much of a flashlight outside. He said as he was driving, he was jamming and pretty much enjoying the drive since it was a nice night. I think most people around this area know there's a small hill when you are going through the old road as you make your way to the Green Acres area. It basically is a hill that separates the new Laguna village from Encino, a village in Laguna, in my opinion, or it's called the Witching Area. He said he just happened to look up that hill. He could not believe his eyes. He had to blink hard to really focus in on what he was looking at. When he looked up, there was this white female figure climbing the hill in a weird, cryptic way. He said the moonlight somehow reflected on it so well that it was like a light from a flashlight being pointed onto that being. He told me that it had long black hair, a dirty white shirt, or a long dress, and it crawled like the girl off The Grudge. After he told me that, it gave me chills and made me uneasy while I drive through there at night. It doesn't help that my man is from the same area and we sometimes have to visit family and leave late. I'm always looking away from that hill just in case. When he told me this story, it gave me chills. Hope the stories were okay. Sorry if I spelled weird. LOL. Stay safe and pray all is well. Dude, that's creepy. I literally got chills too. I can just, when you guys tell me these stories, I like literally picture them in my head. And yeah, that's creepy. I'd be creeped out too. Okay, guys, go do what you gotta do to get the bad juju off of you from listening to the stories. I appreciate every single one of you who support my channel. Make sure to go support my small business, Bajan Beauty. This is our website right here. I am a native owned business who has my own brand. We have a brand of cosmetics. I also sew, so I make skirts, camp dresses, ribbon shirts. I make them for all ages. I also make beaded earrings, and then my son makes bracelets, so he comes with me a lot. Our next spot that we're going to be vending at is this Saturday at Exodus in Camp Verde. So my Camp Verde people who are watching this, make sure to stop by. Anybody who lives in the Camp Verde area, come by, come through and support my small business. Support my son as well. He's been kind of having a dry spell lately and he's kind of getting discouraged. But I tell him, you know, it's not going to be good all the time. Sometimes you have bad days. For him and his little head, he thinks sale time is going to be good every single time, but it's discouraging him. So I'm trying to encourage him to keep going. So help me out by coming and bringing your kids and getting some bracelets or charms, because Juice makes charms for your keychain. It can go on your keychain, your purse, or your phone. So he incorporated that into his little side hustle. So come through and support me and Juice. We'll be at Camp Verde, I think from like 10 to 5-ish on Saturday the 28th. We will unfortunately have to miss out on the state playoffs, but Mama gotta pay the bills. So thank you so much for sticking through the whole video. Make sure to subscribe. Give this channel a big thumbs up. And if you want to share your story, please type it out. It could be your story, it can be somebody else's story, as long as you know it pretty well enough to retell it. Please share it with us because, like I said, we are getting low on our stories. Go ahead and email it to whatwouldkittydo12@gmail.com and we'll get to it as soon as I can. We'll see you in the next one.